anyway.
Yeah, dude, no, I don't know. Like I said, it's just so weird to watch. It's cringy. Or like when they're at a restaurant and they start, did you see that like girl who got the waffles?
Mm-mm.
She was doing some like weird dance thing, and I'm like, it was creepy. It creeped me out. It was wrong. And then the lady behind her gave her the most disgusted look.
We have all turned into traveling clowns with hats in our hands.
Yeah, and I'm like, everyone's like, oh, just let her have fun. And I'm like, it's fake.
I mean, here's one for you, too, that, like, we never think about until, you have a wife who points it out to you. Like, when we're fucking gaming, it's dead silent down here. Linda walks down and I'm like, no,
I suppose, yeah.
and she pins around, like, what are you doing? I'm like,
yeah, there are definitely times when the kids are upstairs, like, zonked out, and I go, freedom! And I only imagine what they're thinking up there.
With that being said, guys, welcome back to
good one.
Because I got the headphones, the lights are darkened.
Your kids are just like liberty's happening.
Welcome back to another episode of What You Take, the show where we talk about just about anything we can possibly think of and bring you guys along for the unfiltered, unapologetic ride. As always, you're going to have myself here, Steve, my brother Chris.
That's me. I'm Chris.
Sexy Spence.
Hey, what's up? God damn it. Oh, God. Shit.
That was some real meh energy, Spencer.
Fuck off. Dude, I like started the yawn. It's like, and Spencer. I'm like, oh, shit.
I'm going to compress that real quick.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt a lot.
Oh, did you swallow your yawn?
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah.
That's almost worse than swallowing the burp.
Right.
That's rough, buddy. Well,
I'm okay.
I have a couple of superhero comic book updates that I came across while I was looking for some of our other topics. So we're just going to talk about that. I don't know how long this one's going to be. This might be a short episode. I don't fucking know. But before we get into that, W Energy is the new energy drink that you need to try. It's got none of the other BS that those other drinks have in them, and they have got all the flavor that you do want. Personally, here on the show, we are big fans of the Galaxy Grenade and the Big Energy Tears. Me personally, this is my guy. Blue raspberry, all the way. One scoop, throw it in the shaker bottle, you're good to go. So here's what you're going to do next. You're going to go to w.gg. You're going to pick out the flavor that you want. You're going to go to checkout. You're going to enter in our code, What You Take 20, and save 20% on your order. That's it. It's that simple. Here's what you're going to do next. Get back to the show. So, couple of fun things that I came across, and I don't know how crazy like recent these are. I know the article that I came across was released a couple of days ago, but it was related to a film that happened a couple of years ago. So just fun random shit I want to throw out there. So first fun fact that I came across, in the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice film, Zack Snyder confirmed that the guy who played Lex Luthor was not the original pick, and that there was actually another actor that was this fucking close to playing Lex Luthor because of his knowledge of the character and of the comics.
Was it the guy from Smallville?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to give you two more guesses because you're not going to fucking get this shit.
Dave Bautista.
Nope. Although I hear he is talking about playing Bane, which is weird because he said he was done with superhero films.
I knew he wasn't.
One more guess. One more guess. Lex Luthor.
Vin Diesel.
No, I was going to say Bruce Willis.
Nope.
Before his issues.
Jason Statham.
Nope.
Do we know them?
Is he already normally bald?
No.
Okay, so he normally has hair.
Normally has hair. Okay, so that
Brad Pitt.
Nope.
Tom Cruise.
Nope.
That's science.
I want to guess.
Are you ready for this?
Kevin Spacey.
Nope.
Oh, he'd be good at it.
You know what's really funny is I don't know which one of your faces to put the camera on for the actual reaction.
Yeah, no, I were just.
Well,
Ryan Reynolds.
Fucking
Ryan Reynolds.
Leo DiCaprio.
What?
Really?
Yep.
I don't know, man. I couldn't.
I guess him and Snyder had a lot of conversations, and I guess he said that Leo DiCaprio actually had a lot of really great ideas pertaining to the content and the character and so on and so forth like that, and was even, from what I understood, was even offered the role for it. And he took a long time to think about it and ultimately ended up saying, like, no, thank you. And we got the kid that we got. Leo DiCaprio.
I can't.
Who was that?
He would look weird bald.
Who
He'd
was
look
that?
weird. What?
Who played him?
Oh, the guy from Zombieland.
Michael Cera? Is
No.
that Michael Cera?
No.
Who is that?
He's also in.
Is that Scott Pilgrim?
No.
No.
That's Michael Cera.
It was also the kid from Now You See Me.
Yeah.
Social Network.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in a lot of shit.
Who is he?
I always forget his name.
Yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't have a name.
But so that was an interesting fact.
I'll look
that
it up. I got it. I'll look it up.
That was an interesting one that I came across. It was like, son of a bit. Again, Leo in that. It was very.
He looked freaking weird bald. I'm sorry.
Well, and it makes you wonder, like, would he have gone that direction, or would he have altered
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse
Jesse
Eisenberg?
Eisenberg.
Would he have altered Lex Luthor to match more Leo DiCaprio?
I think he would have altered, because the thing about Luthor being bald is that, if I remember right, Luthor is bald because of the kryptonite.
Oh, I don't know.
He's bald because he gave himself like cancer.
Right.
I thought that was way later on.
I
Lex Luthor to me has never had hair.
yeah.
Correct.
Well, I mean, Superman cartoons.
Right, that's
yeah.
a staple point of the character. What's interesting
Yeah.
though too is, like, I mean, but from an actor's perspective, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio does a really good job with very affluent characters.
Oh yeah.
So it's like that kind of a persona and that level of class and so on and so forth. Like, he basically would be playing an evil Gatsby.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting his ability to act. I just think he'd look weird bald.
He would be very out of place in that kind of universe.
Right. But no, as far like I think he's one of those guys that just you tell him a role and he can do it amazingly.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
No doubts on
no
that.
doubting his talent. It's just I can't. He doesn't have the look to me. I guess.
So here's another one for you then, kind of in a different direction. And this one it's Rumorville only and fan favorite. I have zero anticipation that it's ever going to be acted on. Okay. And this one I can see happening 100%. There is a fan obsession right now that if they were to ever reboot Ghost Rider, to bring in Keanu Reeves.
I would like that.
I would love Keanu
Like-
Reeves Ghost Rider.
He could do it.
As long as it doesn't interfere with Keanu Reeves' Constantine.
Oh, no. Well, here's the thing. Constantine is actually happening. That's actively
100%,
being worked on.
Doesn't that come out like this end of this year or beginning of next year?
I think it's beginning of next.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see Keanu Reeves being... It would be interesting. I think he could do it, but I think it'd be interesting, and I think the movie would tonally change a little bit. Like, I don't think it would be...
It would be darker than what we saw with Cage.
Well, it would be darker, but I also think that it would be more... I think it would be more brooding than insanity. I feel like it would be more of a sorrowful...
Yeah. Well,
thing.
so here's the thing, right? So from what I did get when I looked at the article is he would not be Johnny Blaze.
Right.
So this would be
A new Spirit of Vengeance.
It'd be a new Spirit of Vengeance, and then the theory is like, well, then what do you do with Cage? And then the idea is,
He becomes the caretaker.
yeah, Cage becomes the next caretaker.
Yeah.
So the way that I look at it, and I love Keanu, and I think part of it's because of his dyslexia and just who he is as a person and blah 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 blah.
He's an angel on earth. Like,
Well, he's an angel on earth, but I mean, like, so John Wick, for example,
Yeah.
very little talking
Yeah.
on John Wick's part, but a lot of action. I think you would get that same kind of vibe in a Ghost Rider thing, where, to your point, very sorrowful, very quiet, but then you have CGI and everything like that take over for the action of it, and you get that perfect meld of things.
Yeah.
He can deliver a one-liner.
I think...
And I think that's the important thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And also this is a little bit split off, but it's Ghost Rider related, not Keanu related. Did you know there are different spirits of vengeance?
I feel like I've heard of this once or twice before, but please elaborate.
Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider is not Robbie Reyes's Ghost Rider.
Really?
They actually have beef with each other.
Oh.
Like there are actually different spirits of vengeance that inhabit different people. It's not the same one going.
I guess that makes sense though, because you look at Caretaker and Johnny Blaze, even just in the Ghost Rider movie.
Yeah, they're together.
They're together. So yeah, that makes sense. I guess I've just never thought about
I
it.
just assumed there was one.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I forget that it is a spirit in and of itself, and it's not just getting a superpower.
Right.
That often seems to be how it comes across, is like, I now have these powers. Like, no, you have a thing that's attached to you.
Yes, and it's a different thing for each one.
Right.
Which is wildly interesting. I actually I got more in depth on that when I was playing Midnight Suns.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently Robbie Reyes' Spirit of Vengeance, he called him Sparky, has mad beef with Johnny Blaze. Like, actively talks shit to him when he's in Ghost Rider mode.
One of the things I think they did really well in Ghost Rider, any of the adaptations that I've seen of it, is the transformation of the vehicles. I mean, obviously, we saw Nick Cage's Chopper. We saw the horse from the Caretaker.
The Hell Ride.
The Hell Ride.
There's like a mammoth one from the Ice Age.
Yeah,
like...
Reyes' muscle car.
That's the Hell Ride.
Oh, is it? Okay, I always forget the name of it. But it's really cool just to see how they Ghost Rider these vehicles.
Well, they can Ghost Rider anything.
Well, I know, but I was just like,
yeah.
It's interesting to see how they do this each time.
Yeah.
I love Johnny's shotgun so much, and I'm like, why would you not use that?
I mean, just
the chain is cool, but like,
just hear me out on this, okay? Just
it's a gun. Like,
let's just. But what about a tank?
Yeah, I mean, Robbie has like these like naginata kind of like chain things where it's like it's a chain and then it's a sickle.
Yeah,
and he swings and hooks people and. Ugh.
There's got to be like limits. Like, it's got to be one of those where it's like you have to have like a certain connection to something you Ghost Ride, right?
No, I don't. Well, because they can hellify anything. Because like in Nick Cage's, he got his Ghost Rider chain from a construction site. He just ripped that down.
I meant like
and
the
then...
ride though.
Oh, the ride. Yeah, I think it has to be yours.
Yeah, because I was like, otherwise I'd like use it, commandeer a fucking tank. Come at me.
But then again, Ghost Rider is also really slept on. He's crazy powerful.
Yeah, on the ranks, I think like I saw one where it was like he was like top 6 or something.
Yeah, like he gets slept on a lot, but I think that's because Ghost Rider
hasn't had a.
He hasn't had like a world-ending threat he's come front and center for.
Not even that. And I love Nick Cage. Don't get me wrong. The movies didn't do well.
No.
So he hasn't had good screen representation for people to go bonkers over him. Even in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where we saw Robbie Reyes.
Yeah, didn't he bust out of the Hulk's containment unit?
Yeah, but no one has received, unless you are a Ghost Rider fan, no one's really received him well on screen.
Yeah.
They haven't,
right.
They need to give him a dark solo film and just try again and make it creepy as fuck.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like is the Green Lantern effect.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You need, well, and the problem is you got to find something that, like, weirdly, I feel like a Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch team up could be a good movie.
Or even just one of those limited series type of things where they have like a big threat.
That's my problem, though. You can't put Ghost Rider in that ring because he'll get slept on. Because you're going to have Scarlet Witch. You're going to have... you need Ghost Rider by himself.
Have him by himself first and then build up to like a magical threat like they did for Infinity War. Have it be like Mephisto or something and these three have to handle it.
Maybe, yeah.
Or he threw him in a Constantine world.
Well, yeah. I mean, Constantine is DC, but...
I always forget he's DC.
Yeah, Constantine is DC.
Sorry, that's like a sin, but yeah.
But yeah, like, if you could, like, spend a movie or two building up Ghost Rider and the kind of shit he deals with, we already know Doctor Strange does extraplanar bullshit. We know Scarlet Witch is into magic and, like, the Darkhold and shit. You could have some kind of, like, dark blasphemous bullshit coming from across the stars. And, you know...
Yeah, I get it. Kind of, those are the only ones that really like fuck with his like level of world shit.
Well, and it also all fits thematically into like that occult niche of like the Avengers had outer space and Thanos and Captain Marvel and this and that, but you need to remember that like
there's a whole demon realm too.
There is hell.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just it. I feel like I still feel like you almost should remove Doctor Strange at that point still though. Like cuz he is so much he's more extraplanar. and I know hell kind of falls into that, but extraplanar and space and
Right.
whatnot, I feel like maybe Scarlet Witch a little bit, but like something needs to happen where like
Or we just need more magic people in the MCU
Yeah.
happening. Because like a lot of it has been going like that sci-fi route. It's like there's a
Correct.
lot of other bullshit going on.
No, I agree.
In Marvel.
Nope, I totally agree.
Like
So speaking of Marvel, kind of continuing with that. So you gentlemen have seen the popcorn bucket for Dune, correct?
Yeah.
You guys saw that abomination.
yeah, and everybody turned it into a pocket pussy.
Yeah. So playing off of that, Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine, has announced that there is going to be a very adult popcorn bucket. And I've seen some of like the fan art. One of them was
Is it just Wolverine's hairy ass?
No, but one of them was Deadpool's crotch. So like they were going to seal the bucket on top and make you reach in through his crotch to get the popcorn.
Yeah.
There was another one where it's just Deadpool's face looking upwards, and then it was a hole where the mouth is, but that doesn't make sense because of his mask. So they were promising an adult popcorn bucket. But I mean, so I'm looking forward to see how they incorporate. They better make a language joke.
Oh yeah.
Because they're one of the scenes that they keep teasing is while they were in Sokovia, with that opening battle from, was it Civil War? No, not Civil
Age of
War.
Ultron.
Age of Ultron. And when Cap makes the language comment, Deadpool needs to have a say in on that somewhere. That would be fucking hilarious.
Dude, I still think they should keep doing with Stan Lee. Remember when Stan Lee used to make a cameo? I want Deadpool to make a cameo in every Marvel movie.
He needs to take up that mantle.
He does. Dude, Stan Lee would respect that. I know he would. Like, my favorite one was that scene in the library in Spider-Man where they had that epic fight and he was just listening to music and just calmly moving. The best. But
Really? It wasn't the strip club one?
Mine was
that was a good one too.
Mine was in the Incredible Hulk, where the Hulk's blood got spilled into all of that Fanta at the Fanta factory, and he opened the fridge and he drank it, and he was like,
Excelsior. Like, no, I don't know, man. I think that would be kind of interesting though. Like, yeah.
The other thing that is coming out of the actor that is playing the new Human Torch is he believes, let me see if I can get my thing right. He's saying that Fantastic Four is different and could be the film that helps to combat superhero fatigue. From what he's saying is the way that this script is that the film is going to focus more on the people behind the heroes and not just the superheroes being superheroes 24/7, and giving it that personal look behind everything that's going to help to make it more of a film you're going to pay attention to and not just put on in the background.
Gotcha. So they're going off like the action drama. It's like, hey, you're going to like character development.
Correct.
I kind of like that. Because like that's kind of why I like The Boys so much. Because you kind of learn, you see the horror behind the curtain.
Correct.
You know?
Well, you even look at like the early Infinity Saga stuff, right?
Right.
We paid attention to Tony for who Tony was, and then he did Iron Man shit,
Right.
And you know, Stephen Strange and all. Like there was the people struggles behind just kicking ass and taking
Right.
names.
Well, it was all
The
character
origins.
development.
The
They were like-
origins.
yeah.
Well, and not just and
That's why by Endgame you got to love all the characters because like they all had their own movies and you've been watching them and tracking them and like
Yep.
it was a 10-year build-up. I mean, it was amazing.
So they're claiming that that's going to be supposedly that's what's happening with Fantastic Four. Well, I'll be really interested to see if that's the case and if that actually does kind of get people out of the superhero fatigue, because that is becoming a very real thing with every new superhero film and project that's being released.
Dude, I have it. I'm just to the point now where I'm just like, I love superhero movies. I
bring
love all that.
me Henry Cavill and bring me 40K
There is another
for the Imperium. It'll be a nice palate cleanser of gore.
There was a poster that got released for the Thunderbolts, I think is what it is. I forget who they are as an actual group, but it's like Winter Soldier, U.S. Agent. I think it's got Phantom or Ghost, whatever that person's name was from Ant-Man. It's all of the old people that were villains.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know if
Oh, it's like their Suicide Squad.
I was like, I don't know if it's Marvel's Suicide Squad, but what's interesting, and there's a big rumor floating around that I haven't found yet, but it's the poster, and it's got all of them lined up. And it says Thunderbolts, and there's an asterisk right at the end of Thunderbolts. And apparently this is some big thing, and I have no fucking clue what it is.
Yeah, I'm a little thrown off by it. I haven't really...
I don't know.
I don't know.
Nah.
Comments? Anyone in there? Like, out in the
Is this
internet
like some
land?
weird, obscure, like... I'm going to feel stupid about this, but is this just like an obscure comic series that was like kind of like has a cult following?
I know. The only thing I know about U.S. Agent is that he was terrible. Well, he wasn't that terrible. He was. Bleh. I didn't care for U.S. Agent in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And
Did you know that was by design?
yeah,
Did you hear the shit about like his costume and everything? How they made it?
like it's meant to upset you?
They had designed it and they used just like the right color shades and the lack of like whites and things like that to make him deliberately unsettling. And it was weird because before knowing that, I was watching it and I kept getting this like, back when I was still on the train of like, oh, he's supposed to be the new Captain America. There was that internal thing of like, I don't like him. Like he was like just primordially unsettling.
I don't like the fact that they can manipulate.
Why
like
can they do that?
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, every time he's on screen, we play this noise, which isn't enough for anyone to notice, but it's slightly irritating.
The main thing I know about U.S. Agent now as a bit of trivia is that he got his ass clapped by Daredevil.
Did
I
he
can
really?
see that.
Yeah, it was in the comics.
I mean, that's
Like, do you know in Resident Evil, the original one, like way back, right? Freaking Marilyn Manson actually did the sound for that film.
really.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, no, we were working with like some primal sounds that make you unsettled. That's why you hear all those like and like all those kind of weird things. He's like, yeah, we were working one time and like, you know, we were working on sounds and blah blah blah, and I guess they had this dog with them, and this dog just got up on its legs and its hair just started standing up, and Marilyn Manson's like, that's the sound.
That's the sound.
Yeah, and then they started like playing like working with that with like just sounds that people just generally feel uneasy around.
Speaking of people deliberately making things uneasy because of the player experience.
Yeah.
Hellblade, the newest addition to that game, I just watched a thing that they are actually going to make the combat deliberately one-on-one every time. You may have like 7 people around you, but you will only combat one person at a time. And they're making it more cinematic from what it looks like. It almost looks like there's going to be a lot more like quick time events kind of built into it. Taking that very like God of War look to some of the combat, the up close and gritty. I'm really interested to see what that game's going to do. It's sad because I think it's only going to be Xbox.
Xbox PC.
But that game and the work that went into making that just so unsettling for the hour of it that I've played was the fact that you have to put a disclaimer in the game that it was designed by people who study neurological and psychological fears. Fuck you.
Dude, there's like certain games you play and there's like a level of uneasiness you don't really get to replicate.
Correct.
Like,
I've been playing Resident Evil 2.
yeah. Isn't it true though? Like, do you ever do that where like you take off your mind? Do you ever have that where you're gaming and your hands are just sweating?
Yes.
And you're just like, you're actually like, your anxiety's at a high?
You don't realize how hard you were holding the controller.
Right. Like, you
Yeah.
zone out. Like, your brain is like, we're in danger.
You didn't feel your chest tightening?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
every time we've extracted the last 5 times in Helldivers.
you fucking A.
Get out!
It's just...
But I don't know, man. It's just, I don't like how like, oh, well, we actually set the color schemes this way, and then we have this noise playing, and it's all designed to just make you feel not okay.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. But here's the thing, though. It almost makes me proud because we've said this for years now, like since we started the podcast.
Yeah.
That video games and movies and stuff are kind of they've hit their limit on what they can recycle. Something's invading the galaxy. Something's magical and evil. Something came back to life that's not supposed to, right?
Right.
The plots
We
are...
found something we shouldn't.
Right. The plots are all there now. But now that they're finding ways to psychologically involve the person, good or bad or scared or whatever,
Yeah.
is really interesting as a viewer.
Well, I came across some comments about the new Romulus Aliens movie coming
Yeah.
out. Dude, they're talking about how, like, it's that claustrophobic horror movie, the classic shit. Like, it's the isolation, the nowhere to run to.
Yep.
Like, think about it. You're on a spaceship. That sounds okay, but, like, you're stuck.
Yeah, it's like playing Outlast.
Right. Like,
Even
Yeah.
down to the things like there's a lot of films that have taken the approach to combat scenes and removing music. They have music going on when people are talking or whatever, but the actual combat,
Yeah.
they cut the music. John Wick's actually a good example of that. They cut a lot of sound from their combat, like music wise. So you hear the extra grunts and like the slides going. That
they do it so smooth, too.
They
You don't
do.
even notice the music's gone.
The squeak of sneakers.
Yep.
Yeah.
The little things like or like the library fight that John Wick has.
Yeah.
They kept it quiet because it's a library. But just hearing books and shit, just like
Right.
it just all that shit, just I don't know. It does something different now.
Oh, dude, or like I love that's why I love A Quiet Place, because they do the exact opposite. It's
Fuck
like
that
there's
movie.
no noise, nothing. Every footstep, every little noise is like, is that the one?
Yep.
I Am Legend did that too.
I Am Legend did a good
Yeah.
job.
There
with
was
that.
no music in I Am
Yeah.
Legend other than when it was on a radio he was playing.
Yep. But again, and it
Ugh.
was to give you that understanding of just how empty everything.
That's the thing. It's
was.
the emptiness when there's no sound.
Yep.
That's the interesting thing, because it's like humans aren't used to that.
Yep.
No animal's used to just nothing.
I mean, yeah, there's the old saying of like it's quiet,
Yeah.
too quiet.
It's too quiet. Like, hey, guess what? When you're in the woods and everything gets quiet, you should be worried.
That means everything left.
Right.
Or everything
everything's
is hiding.
Or
Yeah.
everything is hiding, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like, dude,
you-
let me tell you, when I was taking a piss out in those woods and all those coyotes just stopped talking all at once, that's fear, dude. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So anyway, there's a new Quiet Place coming out, though. It's going to be kind of interesting.
A sequel?
Prequel.
Okay,
Oh.
can you answer... I've seen this question asked around the internet all the time. So they set up the waterfall to be a safe place to talk and do stuff. Why didn't they just live at the waterfall?
I kind of wondered that, but it's like they'd have to build a shelter, I'd imagine.
But they wouldn't have to worry about noise.
Well, I mean, there's like an extent of noise I feel like it hides. Like, they said they could talk, but I don't think they could build a shelter.
Oh, without...
Yeah, I mean... I guess that's just my thought, is like he probably assumed it'd be safer to
Stay at home.
quiet up their house versus build a... I get what you mean, though. It's like I'd be hanging out there all the time. At least I can have a conversation.
Especially if they don't have the capacity to make a shelter,
Right.
be it resources or know-how.
Or tools or whatever.
Yeah, like you're going to basically go from a house to a shack.
Yeah.
But I get the question, though, because it's like,
Valid question.
right. My other thing, too, though, is like, wouldn't people be living on like ships or like islands? Did they establish that they could swim? Like, or is it just we couldn't get to them in time, so we're stuck here?
I don't know.
That's why I'm kind of hoping, like, because this one's supposed to be like, I think it's called Day One or something like that.
You know, there was a really speaking of the ships and like couldn't get to them and whatnot. I was watching an episode of The Bad Batch.
Yeah.
That did a really interesting thing that I haven't seen them actually acknowledge in shows before. And so the team was hiding out on this island in the middle of nowhere on this planet, and the Empire finally tracked him down. First thing they fucking did, all those gunships came in, wiped out all of the ships in port, all of the boats, everything. And the guy got down and goes, "You're stuck here with us." Like, no one talks about that. And what a power move that is.
Yep.
That is some power shit.
Like,
Like-
you want to run? That's cute. You can try.
This
Yeah.
is my island.
Correct. Like, this, dude,
You're on here with me.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. I've spent years here. I know every rock, stream, creek, branch, and tunnel, motherfucker.
No, but that's just it. They didn't. The Empire hadn't been there before.
No. I'm talking about the Defender, the Bad Batch, the guys.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they were fucked.
Yeah.
They had nothing.
it's actually kind of a nice. It's like, yeah, fucked you too.
Yeah,
Like,
the concept there, and then on top of that, they brought the Star Destroyer into low orbit. So it's like you had this you had this city that was on this mountain or whatever, and then the Star Destroyer was right there. Like, the peak of the mountain was basically touching the bay. So it's like, there's your island. Fuck your ports. You want to move? I'll blow you up.
Dude, I love cartoons that give like some serious shit, like that go hard.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, they can do shit with animation that they just can't do in real life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know they try and mimic it, but it's just not the same. But
That's all I got.
I don't know. Like I said, I love the concept of music and all this other stuff. Do you ever have that where they cut the soundtracks to certain things? You're like, this scene just looks stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're watching it.
You
You're
ever
like,
seen
ugh.
Friends scenes without music
Oh yeah, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
or without the laugh track?
Yeah. Actually, that's sadly enough. A lot of comedies aren't. It's weird how the brain works. Like it's like the laughs are triggering you to laugh.
Well, Friends was done with live studio audience.
Right, but I think they also did have a soundtrack, didn't they?
Well, I suppose, I mean, they probably had the
They have like
prompts,
the
though, too.
applause thing. Yeah.
So it was live, but it was forced.
Right. But same thing with like Big Bang Theory. Loved the show, but like I watched an episode where it didn't have music or like a laugh track, and it was like, oh.
Sometimes your brain needs permission, or it needs to
Right.
be told,
Am
hey,
I
that's
allowed-
funny.
This is socially acceptable to laugh. Okay, haha.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, speaking of Big Bang Theory, who the fuck? There was talks about doing another Sheldon spinoff, but this time it being like old Sheldon. And there was
old folks Sheldon.
who the fuck was supposed to play? I think it was possibly Michael Keaton was being rumored to play like old man Sheldon.
Oh, that's funny.
And the actor was like, I would be honored if he played the old adaptation of my character.
Well, young Sheldon took off. That was a
fuck
huge
yeah.
one. Like,
Could you imagine like old grumpy Sheldon
oh, I'd love it.
still being smarter than
I want
everyone?
him terrorizing an old folks home.
Oh my god. You think they're going to put Sheldon in an old folks home? Okay.
I think they kind of have to.
No,
though. Like,
Sheldon would build his own like robot helpers,
no, I guess
or he'd make Wallowitz do it.
No, I feel like that's my thing. I want him to be an old folk because I want the interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
I'm old, I'm not senile.
You're right.
Or I'm old, I'm not stupid.
Shows him trying to build like a new nurse so he doesn't have to deal with his regular one. Like,
Tell me when to take my pills.
yeah.
Honestly, though, Sheldon is such a he's so routine heavy that he might do fine in
It's
a
like
nursing
he's
home.
autistic. Like,
That's everything about that character is just amazing.
I love the bluntness of it. It's just,
Oh, it's comical.
yeah, but it's amazing.
Yeah. It's fucking fantastic. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring this episode to an end here, guys. Thank you so much for follow along with our couple of tangents here. And until next time, peace.
Oh.